So with irrigation, I guess as simply as we can put it, we're taking a water source and delivering it to something horticulturally in most cases. Obviously there's irrigation systems to keep birds cool in bird cages and all that, but the majority of the time we're trying to water a crop or plants or a lawn. Now, the brands that we stock and the brands that most professional shops that you deal with, like actual irrigation shops, not hardware shops that sell irrigation, the majority of them are going to stock professional quality brands that have data behind them around the application rate of water that they deliver, and I mean that's ultimately it, but the amount of litres per minute that you need for a sprinkler to be able to work, the amount of litres per minute that's going to come out of some drip tube. And then as an irrigation shop, our responsibility is to take the information you've got, turn it into a functioning system, and then you take the system and everything's happy. So it's quite simple, but there's obviously things along the way that you're going to struggle, that could cause you problems. So we offer that free irrigation design service that I talked about earlier. Eventually it gets to a point where we charge. So if you came to us and wanted an irrigation design for a golf course, we'd have to charge you for it. But if you wanted an irrigation, there's probably been footy ovals where we've kind of looked at it and gone, we'll charge you for the design, because a football oval is probably a $3,000 irrigation design, and then we might offset the cost of that against the supply if you went ahead with us. But for anything that you're doing residentially, it's a service that we offer. We've got trained irrigation design teams in all of the businesses. So the things we need from you to be able to give you a quality irrigation design and estimate is a flow test and a scaled diagram. So we'll do a flow test later on when we go out there. You can do them. Have we got a flow test here, a flow test gauge here? Can you see if you can find me one, please? The rawest version of a flow test is turning the tap on fully and sticking a bucket underneath it and timing it. Most of the time you're running a 9 or 10 litre bucket and you'll fill it up in 18 to 30 seconds and you'll bring that information to us, and then we know how many litres per minute you've got. Like I said, we'll do one out there when we put the system together. It's good enough for most situations. When we do a commercial system, we actually request pressure tests, pressure versus flow tests along the way. If Adam can find me the gauge that we use, I'll show you that. We mount that to a water source. We adjust a ball valve to a point where the pressure gauge needle hits 200 kPa or 300 kPa or 400 kPa. And then there's a digital flow meter on it that we use that tells us how many litres per minute are coming out. That flow that comes back to us, so we'll get, someone will come back and say we've got 200 kPa at this, and 300 at this, and 400 at this. And it might be, 120 litres a minute. How will this go? 300, 130 and 140. They're not correct, but you get the gist. So then our irrigation designers can take that, because once we get into a commercial system, and this is not basic, but once we get into a commercial system, a lot can go wrong if that information is not correct. So we'll design a system and someone will go install it and then they'll turn it on and nothing will happen. And then you've got concrete paths and finished landscaping and playgrounds that have been put in, and there's nothing you can do about it. So the planning of this is really important, and you're going to find the same residentially.